and bringing the troops, and you being the connector and community curator that you are, and the huge resource you are to the beauty community. Can you frame up the conversation today? Like, what do you think is important about this conversation? Why does it matter?
For me, there's so many levels here, but there's a huge huge thing that pulled me to specifically the two of you. Was there's a big component in our industry that we're creatives and we're artists, and there's a big side of the brain that goes that, like, it doesn't we're not even expanding to when it comes to business and things that we're not aware of. And it's not that we don't want to, we just wear so many hats that this goes all the way on the bottom of the priority list, when really it should be on the top of our priority list, because doing this is going to make us in a position that we could work smarter and not harder. And this is where I want to empower the community to give you whatever resources, which is this is the one of the most valuable things that I could come up and try to encourage everyone to do is this. So even if we don't have all the people that, because we had a lot of people signing up. So even though I know that maybe it's the middle of the day and people can't do this, I just want us to have conversations with keeping in mind that people are going to be watching it later. So
Yeah.
let's have that in mind, that this is going to be a recording that people are going to benefit from.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And Eleni, I think your passion is shared with Maira and myself because to your point about working smart and not hard, where everyone's working hard. And no, I don't know that anyone wants to not work hard in their lives. I think we want to work hard. We want it to be worth it. We want to do
Correct.
the kind of work that is something that we love and energizes us. And we want the rewards of that work to be great in all areas. So what we want to do is move ourselves from working hard without a good plan as to like, how am I going to get to the highest level work that I'm the best at? And also a plan of like, how am I going to get the most reward from the work that I'm putting in? So
Right.
we're Elenita of all people is a hard worker, and I don't think she's looking to not be. I think it's more like, how do we leverage the work? How do we optimize the work? And that's exactly what we want to talk to you about today. And Eleni's been a huge, not just a reason that we're here in this moment, because that she is the reason, but also a muse for me and Mira, like a total inspiration of somebody who could be running a passion and talent based hobby, expensive hobby, or someone who could crush it in a passion based, talent based business. And that's exactly the shift that we want to walk you through today. Mira, you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, let's just get started and
Let's start. Okay.
I'll keep
So,
letting they come in.
Mira did ask a question. If anyone's willing to put it in the chat, Mira and I really would love to actually know the answer to from all of you. Please put in the Zoom chat numbers. Like, what would you like to make per month? And it doesn't need to be in 3 years. It could be in 1 year, but it could also be in like, what's your dream? It, what we the best place to kind of go financially first when you're starting this conversation out is like, what's going to scare me a little and excite me a little. So I was talking to someone yesterday who brings in about $4,000 a month. Typically, when you triple that number, that's the number that excites the person. So if you think about how much am I typically bringing in per month and you triple it, that's often a good starting place. And if you don't know your own numbers, then you're also in the right place because, that's an important piece of all of this also.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to get started, Rachel?
I am. As I hope people do fill up the chat though with numbers so that we have a little grounding as to like where they're holding.
Okay. So let's wait like another, whatever, 20
Okay.
seconds.
Okay, so yeah, let's see what you guys put into the chat. How much would you like to be making in a year from now, month to month? How much would you love to be bringing in sales or in take home pay? Give us your financial goals in the chat if you can.
Where is the chat?
The Zoom chat is, if you go at the bottom of your screen, there's a little thing that says chat. You click on it and it says type message here and you just put in your number. So we want to get a sense of like, how much would you love to be making?
Again,
I'm
as
gonna
people
go on
are
my
coming in,
computer.
please feel free to turn on your cameras. We love to see people.
We prefer it, yes. Okay. Elenita, I want you to be brave if you don't mind, just so that your friends will come along for the ride if you start.
I was just gonna ask, do you want me to also participate? So let me
Sure.
I
participate.
think you should lead the pack, lead by example, because I think everyone's a little shy. So let's just start with you, and then everyone else can join in the chat. How much would you love to be making? How much would you love your business to be bringing in every month? Could be as projected as far as you
Yeah,
want it.
so I did break it down. I think that where I am now, can I just say I would like an additional $20,000 a month.
Nice. Great.
That's my 6-month goal.
Great. Okay. So I think anybody who's there or hovering in that area, you can put that in. If it's lower, that's fine.
Yeah, and like even just to be I mean, for a lot of people, even just bringing in,
I said more.
a few, like $2,000 a month extra is
Right.
going to be, and for some
Right.
people, it's going to be 10, 20, and it doesn't matter what it is, but if anyone wants to share that.
Okay.
Girls,
So
don't be shy. This is a safe space.
totally safe space. Okay. Miri, you want to
Small,
start
okay,
sharing?
yeah, and thank you, Kai. Sorry, in a small, I would like an additional 15,000 a month. Great.
Great. 15,000 a month is great because what it shows is like proof of concept that you have strong revenues, that you're focused on the right things, and that your profit margin, meaning it's not just what you bring in sales, but what you get to take home to your family is significant. So that's a really good number. Okay, Mary, you want to start
Yeah,
sharing?
I'm going to start, and then again, as people come in, we're going to request that people turn on their screen to be so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thanks. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so Rachel and I are founders of Top of the Mountain Retreats and Coaching. And just so you know, we work with really talented founders and executives who are building real businesses, not chesed projects, not fives, not hobby brands, to get them to the next level and make sure that they really, again, like crush their goals. So we're going to show you some guiding principles that will get you more clients, increase your profit, and give you back control over your time. So if you are an entrepreneur in the beauty industry who wants to level up, this is for you. And again, really we can't say thank you enough to Elenit. We so appreciate all of your help and guidance. All right, Rachel, let's take it away.
Okay, so it really doesn't matter. We want you to be super focused on the thing that matters in this conversation and in your business, which means we have to kind of usher out of the room what you don't need. Okay, here's what you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about what your phase is in your life. You don't need to worry about if you're in your third chapter of your career, if you have young children at home. This is just for the woman who wants to build her dream business. And you already have the talent and passion. That's why you're in this room with us today. And that's amazing. But there is only one job we want to focus on today. And that is the objective of all businesses. Ready? It's the P word. It's very important: profit. And you do not need a 10-person team for profit. You do not need a draining process to build your company for profit. You do not need a social media machine, which is shocking to a lot of people in the beauty space, but you don't need a social media machine to profit. And you also do not need to dilute you or change who you are. Oh, yay. Thank you, Esther. 7,000 a month is great. We like that. That's a good number. But you don't need to change who you are to get to profit. But that's what this conversation is about: turning all your passion and talent into a profitable business, a highly profitable business, more than it is currently, wherever you are holding.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to share with you these power moves that's going to get you making more money. And it's not just going to be, someone who's often we're stuck in this like feast or famine that we like to call it, right? Where Arab Yontif is amazing. Let's say we're selling shit, those are beauty or products or whatever. And like people are buying, everyone wants to consume. And then, it's the 3 weeks now and you're like, hey, no one's doing anything and it's a disaster. And we want to kind of help you to know like what is going to keep your business solid throughout the year to make sure that you can grow. And we want also for you is that you're working like smarter and not harder, because so many times there are people that are so busy and they're not making enough money. They're just doing a lot of things because this is what I've always done, or this is what people expect from me, or this is the kind of business I've always had. And if I stop doing this, people are going to be upset. But that's not necessarily what's going to move the needle in terms of your financial goals. It might make you feel busy and feel like people are interested in coming to you, and it might help your ego, but it's not going to help your wallet. So we want to make sure that you're not, going to burn out again because you're not doing the right things. And these power moves are really going to make sure that you're making more money. Again, it doesn't matter if you're selling more shekels, it doesn't matter if you're, selling more makeup products, but whatever it is, we want to make sure that you are bringing in more profit.
Okay, so we're going to actually, in this conversation, just so you know, we're going to save a lot of time in the second half of this conversation in about 15 minutes to talk about like Q&A. This is where all the juice is for getting value from this conversation, because it's very nice to talk about things, but to make it very practical and for you, being able to ask, being brave enough to ask your questions is incredibly important. So stay tuned, because in about 15 minutes, that's where we're going. I also just want you to know that Mira and I have walked our talk. What I mean by that is we know what it is. Mira and I are both from actually a nonprofit background, but we also know as entrepreneurs for the last many years that there's we don't naturally think like a CEO. We want to help people, and we're women, and we want to bring our light into this world and make this world a better place, and we are not naturally wired to selling our brilliance or building something bigger than ourselves. We like to give our brilliance away, we like to build something big, but we don't have the muscles yet to be able to effectively do that in a way that's going to allow us to think like a CEO. And all three power moves are going to be guided by thinking like a CEO. Every single time we're talking about making profit, we are positioning ourselves as the CEO. And that is the work that Mira and I have done on ourselves and for our clients. Most of you have a trusted community who know you, but you need to shift into the CEO chair so you and they can start taking your business seriously.
And by the way, just to add into this, like thing like CEO is not always easy and it's often uncomfortable because we might need to choose between making everybody happy, right? And doing what's good for the business. So, but this is really, this is the night and day shift that once you're thinking like this, when you're like, okay, I'm not just a person for hire anymore, and I'm actually running a business. Once you're able to think like this, it really is going to change everything. Sorry. Okay, so first case study, we have Chaya over here. Okay, so Chaya is a Shetelmacher, and she has been, she's been doing this for a while. But here's the thing: either she's working like 14-hour days, or it's crickets. And she wonder, like, why are people not coming anymore? Did they find anyone? Did they find someone cheaper? Is it like a new salon that opened? Like, I'm not sure why people are not coming back to me. And she's kind of like not even sure what to do. She's a little bit, helpless, like to word of mouth, and she's very busy but she's not necessarily growing in her profits.
While Meir is okay, I'm about to say do this one, but if you guys can put in the chat what you're doing, or do you have a med spa? Do you do makeup? Do you do shatels? Just let us know who you are and what you do. So here's the first power move in thinking like a CEO. Ready? Buckle up because this one's really important. Power move number one is this is no longer just about your service. It's about positioning. Power move number one, build the business. You are the visionary of your business. You are the head strategist. There's something going on with the writing.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'm not even
You are the captain of this ship, directing it where it needs to go and making the most important decisions that will shape your results. So we want you to stop thinking like a someone who is being hired to deliver a service and start thinking like a CEO of a business that's being built. Mira?
Yeah. So, what was really important here is that you understand the client journey. Okay. So we want you to think about is like really to think this through. And like when you think like a CEO, like me, a regular person, it's just like, oh yeah, let someone come. They're calling me. Great. I have a new client. Amazing. But when you think like a CEO, we want you to think through this client journey, which means what are they thinking from the first time they meet you? What is the experience that they have when they walk into your salon or your space? What happens after? The follow-up, when the item is ready for pickup. How often are you responding? What's your turnaround time? Like, what is their experience for you? Can they book? I live in Portland and I went online to like this gym to book a class. It's like women's gym in Portland, and you can't book it online. Okay. You need to call on the phone and then you need to speak to them. And then I'm like, are you serious? Now, like, what is that experience for them? Like, why are people coming to you or why are they not? And what is that experience like you? And the more you take time to think about giving them yes, giving them this like, wow, this has become so easy. This is like a no-brainer for me. That's going to change everything. It's not just like, do they like you? It's not just like, are you nice when they're in the salon? It's not even just like, do you give them a water bottle when they walk in? Like, really think about the entire client journey from beginning to end. And again, as much as you could get into this, like it could start from anywhere from social media posts, it could be any of that, but really like from that first touch till the end, what kind of feelings do they get when they work with you?
I want to add on to what you're saying, Mira, because I just happened to have purchased a professional development program to the tune of, the program's worth like $15,000. It's expensive, but I was sold by other programs much cheaper, $5,000 programs comparatively. And I refused because the client journey for me, before I even, in order to even say yes, the client journey for me, I had to feel like I was in really good hands. I was being really taken care of. They knew what they were doing and I was being guided. And what the $15,000 program, the people involved did effectively was make me feel like I was in really good hands, that they were going to be able to help me. And you need to offer the same thing, creating like the least amount of friction for the people who get to know who you are, get to know what you offer, and get to your path of profit in a way that's going to benefit them the most. So this is super, super key.
Yeah.
Okay, here's power move number 2. So remember, power move number 1 was to build the business, right? Power move number 2 is to think in systems. Like this is something, again, Meir and I learned the hard way and sometimes continue to learn the hard way over and over and over again, which is like, you don't need to get up and run the sprint again and then do it again tomorrow and then do it again the next day. It's starting to think about, what can I do one time and just replicate it forever? So like with our case study, Chaya, the Shetelmacher, happens to be everybody in the room right now is Shetelmachers, but people listening to the recording, it doesn't matter. It could be in any industry. Chaya designed what we call in marketing a flywheel, which is essentially like a way to attract people predictably, a good volume of people predictably. And she used what Meir and I have coined to be the EAR system. And it's very intuitive. You experiment, E is for experiment. You experiment what's going to work for me, what's going to work for my people. Like Esther, I'm going to use you because we're both in Phoenix. Esther, like Phoenix is a very distinct city and a distinct community. And in fact, it's like actually a bunch of disparate communities inside of this Jewish from community. And also if she's depending on who her demographic is outside of it as well. So Esther can really think, and if you're in Lakewood, if you're in Muncie, if you're in Flatbush, wherever you are, you can think, what is distinct about my community and my people? Let me experiment and see what works and what doesn't. So Mir and I have one-on-one clients. You know, these programs are more expensive, obviously, $10,000 a month through, $5,000 a month. These are higher level programs, but they're building beauty businesses just like you. And we can give you free advice that we give them, which is like, really think about, okay, Kalas. Who's a call? Like, what can I create for Kalas to bring them in, to get them at the very beginning and then move them along? What about special events? Like, what are the lifetime milestones that we could bring them in for? So experiment, then analyze what's working, what's not. This is where you could get playful. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. Let me see what works and then analyze. This is where knowing your numbers is important. Refine. Let me see. Now let me shift things a little bit. There are so many ways to be visible and make noise. Like, let's figure out what's going to work and what's not. And then lastly is repeat. Repeat is like, now that I know that this works, let me do it again and again. Let me double down and triple down on this. So I think I'm still here, which is here. We just wanted to list a whole bunch of ways for you to experiment and analyze. You don't have to even use this list. There's an infinite ways of making noise and getting exposure, but just how do you want people to learn about you? You always be thinking about, how can I bring more people into knowing about me and what I can offer them and what my services are. So it could be around the quickest conversion, leverage your past relationships, leverage friends, leverage referral sources. If you're good in person, go to events. You can go speak, you can do cold calls. Again, like we were talking to a client of ours also in the beauty space just yesterday. She's going to do, I don't want to give away all of her secret sauce right now, but like she's going to do a very distinct, very her kind of event that's going to bring in exactly the kind of people she needs for her to attract.
And just to add into this, and this is the part that people don't want to hear, but the more uncomfortable you are when you do some of these things, the more successful you're going to be. So doing things that are comfortable doesn't bring results often. Now, I don't mean that you might be comfortable doing social media, and I don't mean that doesn't bring results. But sometimes the thing that is you don't want to do, the next thing that you kind of know is the next thing you should do, but you're really stressed out about doing it, it makes you super uncomfortable. That's the next thing you need to be doing. So, like often, like that's what Rachel and I, a lot of times we're doing, we're holding people's hand to do this, but like not everybody wants to make calls to past clients and ask for referrals. But that's huge.
I
Not
have
everybody.
to say,
Yes.
can I just interject?
Yes.
Everything you're saying is basically like I'm in this place where I'm reinventing myself and like restructuring my business and trying to create something better. Like I felt very stagnant for the past like 5 years already, and I haven't really done anything to better myself. And since the FEM event, or even before the FEM event, I've been trying to like upgrade my knowledge, learn more, and also give more services. I'm a cosmetologist, and for the last 20 years since I got my cosmetology license, I was just doing wash and sets, even though I knew how to cut, and I would cut people's hair because I wasn't afraid of that, because that was just like it would grow back, whatever it is. It's not a big deal. But I was scared to cut shapes. I was scared to color. I was scared to do everything, anything except wash and sets. And then I realized, and I had a lot of clients, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't giving me my revenue. And then and then a couple other Scheitelmachers moved into town and they started opening up a business. And then I realized, I'm lacking I'm not lacking the fact that I don't know. I do know, but I was lacking experience, and I just decided, you know what, I just have to do it. I just have to start doing it. So when people ask me if I want to do this, if I know how to do this, I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I could do it. And I would just start slow and just do it. And now I'm at a place where a lot of people are coming to me, even people that haven't come to me in years. They're just like, oh my God, I forgot you do shadels. And they're just like coming and coming and coming. And it's true what you're saying, like what makes you feel uncomfortable is the thing that's going to make you grow. And I was very uncomfortable, and I'm still very uncomfortable doing some stuff, but now I'm just like, I'm going to do it, whether I like it or
Amazing.
not.
Yeah, you're a great, I mean, a great case study, but that's really amazing. But it aches so many times. The more, I always say the more uncomfortable, the better, even though I don't mean that we have to, be that uncomfortable, but really like the thing that you think and you look at this list and you're like, oh, I really should network, but that's so uncomfortable. Whatever. Any of those things that you're like, oh, that's the next thing you want to do. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to go become a keynote speaker. But if you want to, if you know that these type of events exist, and or maybe you're already at FEM or an event like this and you've gone there, but now you're standing in the corner and it's uncomfortable for you, and you say, you know what, I'm going to meet 10 people. So, and just going over and just even making connections, saying hi, or in your community, like when you speak to people and they say, hey, what's going on? How have you been? And you're like, it was amazing. I just cut this new wig and looks awesome. I got this great, haircut to new shadel. And the people are like, oh, really? You do that? Like just, forcing yourself to talk about the things that you do when you meet people in the supermarket, like all of these things that are quote unquote uncomfortable are the things that make the difference. So we're going to keep encouraging this, repeating and experimenting and stuff like that, what works. But also the things that are most uncomfortable are probably the thing that are gonna work the most. So, and then this last piece is really the refine and repeat. So let's say something does work, again, it might not be a perfect system. So once you find something that is working for you, the referrals or whatever it is that you've chosen to work on, tweak it. Maybe there's a better way. Who said that first way you offered let's say you decide you're making a referral incentive program, things like that, and it was good, but it could get better. So refine it, repeat it, think about it, ask people feedback. What do you think? Is this happy? Would you rather get a free wash and set? Would you rather get, money? Would you rather like just ask people? And once you've got it down, like then that's what you're going to repeat. So think about the different things, whether it is the Kala gifts, whatever it is that you're doing. And then once you've gotten that, to just keep repeating it. So just finish with Chaya over here, right? So we have, you know, CEOs really, they don't run sprints, and they're going to design systems. And if you have these systems that you could replicate and do them again, by the way, this is not for all of you, but for the people that are ready, someone might have one salon and want to open up another one. Once you have systems, and this is like a much bigger discussion, not for now, but if you ever want to do this and you have a system in place, you know exactly how you answer the phone, you know what color shirts your employees wear, you know exactly how you take in client and you do everything, you could open another branch right away. You don't even have to be there if you have a system. And that's thinking like a CEO. It's not just about the right now. It's not about this one client. It's about a system that I could replicate and eventually sell. So just something to keep in mind all the time. So, okay, Rachel, you ready for
Yeah, so like just to wrap up from last time, so what we're up to, we have three principles that we're talking about under thinking like a CEO. We've talked about building a business, we've talked about building systems, and we're about to share with you the last principle. We're going to share it with our new friend, Miri. Miri is our other case study. People love working with her, okay? She has an amazing heart. She cares about so many people. She has a great eye. She has a way of making people feel seen. It's like I can just think of the people in this room who are like, "Yep, that's you." She is both, she is everything. She's the face and the product and the transformation. Miri is overwhelmed, okay? She is wearing too many hats. She is doing everything well, but she's spread really, really too thin, and everything has to get done. And like, she just feels like she's stuck in like, called it the hamster wheel before, but like she's stuck spiraling in the same patterns because there is money that's coming in, but it's like not enough to make big hires. It's not enough to shift in a really big way. So in Miri's case, we created her to be someone who just launched. It doesn't have to be like that. Someone in the chat said that they had just moved to a new location. It could be any kind of renewal. Esther just talked about the fact that she kind of like woke up after many years of being in the business and said, "Hey, I'm actually here, guys. Like, come on over. Here, come my way." That's a renewal. But in the case of Miri, what's helpful to see is like she's really doing so many things and she doesn't know how she's going to get it all done. And she's not financially in a position to be able to delegate that much. So how are we going to solve for Miri?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are in that I can't hire yet, or I can't hire, I can only get full-time help, but I'm not ready to hire full-time. So I end up keep staying in this cycle. So this is something I think that's we see that a lot, with people that we work with. I think it's a very common issue. So let's go to the power move number 3, okay? And this is we call focusing on the top and the bottom. So I want you to think about when you talk about a sales funnel, I want you to think about a funnel, right? So you have this funnel in your kitchen, whatever. I don't even use a funnel, but right, it's very wide on the top and it's a skinny on the bottom. Use it to, I don't know, not make a mess. Okay. But a lot of times we're not sure where to focus our time. And if you're in a funnel, and imagine there's a sales funnel, what you want to do as a CEO is you want to focus.
But you're right, but maybe just define a sales funnel for people.
Yeah, so thank you. A sales funnel is like, how are we getting people in the door? Like, what are the stuff that we're offering? What does the system work? And like, there's so much to do, right? If you think about, let's say for a Shaitzamacher, right? Like, there are certain clients, there are the washing sets, there's the sales, there's the getting people in the door. Like, where should we be spending our time? So you want to be spending your time really like at the top and at the bottom. So in addition to being like the ultimate zoomed out visionary and strategist, what you want to do is you want to make sure that like we're spending your time. So for example, you want to spend your time with the highest level clients. Okay. That means the people that are buying shadels from you, the ones that could, buy multiple shadels from you, the people that are going to be possibly people that could lead to bring in other people to sell. You want to spend a lot of your time on that. If you're spending your time on the wash and sets and you're getting stuck in that, your business will not grow. Again, like Esther was saying, like she was doing wash and sets for 10, 15 years and she's stagnant because that. So you want to spend your time on like the people, you want to spend your time as being the face. So like the wide net, you want to catch people. So if you're on social media, it might be your face if you're appropriate to do that. You're the name, right? So you might be the person going to networking events. You're the person showing up to FEM. You don't need to bring your person who does your wash and sets to FEM. You're that person in the front. And then you're also the person that's dealing with the very specific clientele, the ones that are going to be like the highest touch points, the biggest profits, but you're not going to spend your time in the middle. If you get sucked into the middle, that is when you don't grow. So I want you to identify things that you're doing now that are like, this is the middle. And you want to get out of the middle. Remember, you want to be the face. You want to be the person that networking, going to certain shows, speaking about it possibly. And you want to be the person working with the top clients. You don't want to be the person who's like putting away the shadels at the end of the day. Now, again, at a certain part of your business, in the beginning when we start things, yeah, we're all doing this. And that's normal. But as you grow, the goal is to think like, who can do this for me? Right? Maybe you're not hiring full-time, maybe you're hiring part-time, maybe you're like, just to get out of those systems so you're not stuck at the wrong place in this funnel. Rachel, did you want to?
I'm in that place.
You're
I'm
in
in
that
that
place.
place right now. I
Oh
I
yeah,
just hired
Esther,
someone.
100%.
I
I
just
totally
hired
see that.
someone.
Yeah.
I hired someone, high school girl. She comes, she helps me few times a week for a few hours a week, and it's amazing. It just took such a load off of me,
Yeah.
and it's just a few dollars here and there and it gives me so much more time for everything else.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think Esther is 100% on. And Mira, just to tack on to what you were saying, like, just, and also for clarity around what does it mean funnel? It's like, let's take Esther or let's take Eleni. Their job is going to be for free or they'll even pay to have as much visibility as they can, giving as much value as they can to people who pay them nothing. So Esther will go to the Shoal community event for women and talk about what she's doing and give them advice about their shaitel and show them like her own shaitel and have a whole like schmooze. And by the end of it, 10 new women will have learned about her. She does that for free. She's at the top of the funnel. That's where she brings everybody into her space. The bottom of the funnel is where they spend all the money. Let's say if you're selling wigs, that's where all your profit is going to lie, right? That's where you want to spend your time with your VIP people who are paying you time and time again for your highest end shaitels. Again, we're using the Shaitelmacher as an example. It could apply to any business. Where you don't want to live, where Esther just hired for, is these people who they already are in your circle and they don't pay you a lot of money. You really don't want to sit too long with those people. It's going to totally drain you of your energy, your time, and your money. Mira, you want to cut to the last slide?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So again, that's what you want to be doing. You want to be literally at the top, bringing in new clients and being at the bottom. So, when you think about her, I think just for the third power move, that is what it is. So again, so we've done a few, but the third power move is really to focus on the top and the bottom. That's where you want to be. And I
So
have,
the three pillars, you can just stop
I'll stop sharing for a minute.
sharing.
Yeah. And I have
So the three power moves that we've talked about under Think Like a CEO is number one, build the business. Number two, think in systems. And number three, which Mira just said, was focus, prioritize on the top and the bottom of the funnel. These are tactical pieces that go under the umbrella of a very big mindset piece, which is to think like a CEO. And that's what we really want to bring you in for. Okay. We're about to do the juiciest part. If you wanted to get value, this is where it is, to listen to other people's questions because they will apply to you, and to ask your own. This is where the juice lives in these kinds of environments. So sit for this part because it is, and start taking notes because this is where the magic is. I will say, Mira and I have an announcement to make that's really exciting that is completely inspired by Eleni. We would not be doing it if it weren't for her. I can guarantee you that. And it is very special, and we are excited to share it with you. We will do that in about 8 minutes, I'll say. But let's start kind of kicking it off to you ladies. Let us know what questions do you have on what we said and applying it to your business so that you can walk out of here and like by the end of the quarter, you'll be making thousands of dollars more than you would be otherwise.
Who's gonna be brave, girls? Ladies, there's 17 people here. Girls, you gotta talk. Anyone have questions?
what is it? The shy person doesn't learn.
Kayla,
No.
Panina, Yidis, Simi, Chaya, Batsheva, Missy. We're calling you out.
Can I, okay, here.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Hi, sorry. Hi, sorry. Are you open to unmuting? You're unmuted. Can you share
No,
a bit?
She said she doesn't want because it's being recorded, so let's respect that. Let's, look, I'm
No, I
saying,
don't think she wants video. Hi, sorry. Are you comfortable with your voice or no?
where is she?
She's here, but she's not muted. Okay.
She said she has time periods where she has
Oh,
kind of.
somebody said, starting a new business in a new city.
Okay, so let's address both. So let's start with Esther. Yeah, restarting the wig business in a new city. Esther Selmer.
Are you talking to me?
Where do you see that?
I see it in the chat.
Oh,
Okay, the best way to do these guys, ladies, is if you're unmuted and it's a conversation so that we can actually help you. If we will, I'm happy to address these questions, but it's easier to do it when we're not in a vacuum. Is anyone willing to unmute themselves and just use their voice? You don't have to turn your video on, but just share what's going on that we could dialogue with you.
I think that's something that we need to discuss right now. The fact that they're not willing to be uncomfortable and vulnerable to talk about their to crawl out of where they want to be, like give themselves permission to verbalize their wants.
Yeah, wow, that is like a stunning observation, Eleni. And I think the
Ah, somebody there, we got one. Let's go.
is that Kayla?
No, it's Chaya 10S. Oh, no? Oh, it's Kayla, yeah.
Kayla, are you talking to us? I don't know if she meant to do that. Okay, I want to speak to Eleni's comment though, because I think it's really important. Okay, and Esther Ringel just talked about this because she hired someone and gave her so much peace of mind. The word is, this is the one to write down: willingness. How willing are you to get what you want here? How willing are you? Do you know, Mir and I have an amazing client in the beauty industry. She is phenomenal. She's so talented. Everybody loves her. And it is very difficult to coach her. And she's paying us a lot of money to coach her. And she's having a hard time getting the value because she's struggling with the willingness. The willingness to be judged by the people around her is really an impediment to her growth. Mira's nodding her head. Mira, you know this.
Yeah, she's like, well, in our community, no one does this. In their community, like a lot of rules. And, we don't want to make people do things that are uncomfortable, like that are inappropriate for the community. But like, if you're not willing to like try something a little bit new, that's acceptable, just not done. So how are you going to grow? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, how are you expecting different results? So if we want to grow, right, definition of insanity, like, we have to do things differently.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Yay,
So
sorry.
I'm very small. I'm in the business for like 5 years. I worked for previous Shaker before. I started when I was in high school. Um, I did take a break when I got married, just because getting married and starting life was a little bit difficult for me to continue. But now, when I've gotten back into it and I have customers, and there's times where I am extremely busy, like I have a lot of wakes to do and I have a lot of shakels to do all the time. And then for I have 2 weeks that I'm great, I'm busy and I'm excited because I finally see that I'm growing and it's exciting. And then 2 weeks of crickets. And then 2 weeks again, and then 4 weeks of crickets.
I mean, it's so phenomenal what you're saying. I think so many women are going to benefit from you asking the question, and kudos to you for speaking up. I'm curious of what we talked about so far. Did any one thing pop out to you as, oh gosh, that sounds terrible, or, oh, I really need to do that?
Um, I think that for the focusing, I have jumped in with buying and purchasing some stuff that definitely set me back a couple of bucks. And then trying to jump in with multiple other things and focusing on other things, like getting myself uncomfortable, speaking to different people. I have done that. But for some reason, it just seems like I've been stuck in this state for a couple of, I want to say a year now.
You've been stuck in a year now of what?
On and off with customers. I started, I think 3 years ago, I started back and it was great for the first year. I was great. And then it kind of was on and off for days. And then it kind of shifted into weeks. And now it's stayed at weeks of being very busy and then of not being busy at all.
And what do you currently do?
Okay.
What do you currently do to encourage customers to return to you?
Wait, actually, I have a question before that. That comes even before that. Chai, sorry, how much time are you working in the business versus how much time are you working on your business?
I think by now I am working on my business more than I am actually in the business.
I
And when you
missed
say working on the business, you mean what?
working on,
Purchasing,
yeah.
investing, buying classes.
Okay, so Rachel, what's going on, I think, hi, sorry, is that this is very normal. You're in the creative. So for you, working on the business is you taking the latest hair course, you learning a new blow drying technique. When we talk about working on the business, we mean,
Wait, guys, listen to what Mira's saying because it's going to be really gold. This is
okay,
good.
so for you guys, okay, we have a bunch of creatives in the room, okay? So for most of you, we think, oh, I'm working on the business and I'm taking a new course. What we mean by working on the business, we mean getting clients, okay? That
Profit. We don't even mean getting
profit.
clients,
I
just
don't care
money.
if you make every shekel frizzy, okay? I don't even care what you do. Literally, we're talking about just bringing in money. And what that means is like thinking about, again, What is the experience that customers have when they come to me and what makes them want to return? The clients that came to me, who are my bright spots? Have I asked them why they come back? What are the things that they like that I could offer other people? What have I done currently to get people to come back? Oh, well, I don't want to do that. That's weird. If they wanted to come to me, they always used to come to me in the past. I don't want to ask them. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. Then they're going to think I'm desperate. No, they're not going to think you're desperate. I actually, we regionally coach a lot of different people, and I had once coached, I remember it was a for-profit camp director who was having a hard time. He had a lot of competition, started new camps that come into the neighborhood, and started not knowing what to do. He was like losing a real like market share. And I said, okay, so start calling parents. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, start calling parents and saying, hi, I just want to know if you have any questions. I wanted to just, get your kid re-enrolled. He's like, I can't do that. I said, why not? He said, because then I'll look desperate. They're all going to think I'm desperate. I never had a call before, and now I'm going to call. They're going to think I'm desperate. So I said, okay, let's make a deal. You're going to call 10 parents. If any of them say to you, wow, it's really interesting that you're calling me, like you guys must be desperate. If anyone does that, stop the calls. You're exempt. Guess how many people? Zero. You know how many people that you got re-enrolled from those calls? Many. People are like, oh, thanks so much for calling. I actually forgot. Somebody came over to me yesterday. I was at an event in Portland. I live in Portland, Oregon. Okay. Someone came over to me and said, oh, my mother, no, my cousin or something sells some product that you used to buy. I was like, oh, it's so funny. He's like, yeah, why don't you buy from her anymore? I'm like, actually, I forgot about her. We just order online. He's like, oh, I was like, yeah, like, I don't know why she never reached out. She probably reached out one or two times, forgot about it. Maybe I didn't order that year. And then like, she forgot about me. Why didn't I order from her? I don't know. No one asked me. She wasn't even on my radar. I just went to someone else.
This is so key, ladies.
Yesterday, this happened last night.
We romanticize our craft. Like for Mira and me, it's coaching. For you, it's beauty. And so Mira and I are going to spend a lot of money, time, and effort in being the best in our industry in what we do, and so will you. And guess why people actually hire you or us? Because we are the most visible, closest thing in spitting distance to helping. It's like that simple. So we are super invested in making sure we're the best, which is important. But our clients hire us because we are accessible. We are in front of them. We are there. And if we can understand the mechanics that happen like behind that wall, which is why creatives in this room, it's so beneficial to have this entire world opened up to you. Okay, this is actually a perfect prelude because Ilanit has inspired Mira and I to do something that we've never offered before. Never, ever, 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 which is really exciting. We obviously have our retreats that we run for very high level women. And we also have our coaching that we do 2-on-1 and 1-on-1. And that is to the tune of anything between $10,000 and $100,000. Okay. But this is the first time that we've created something that is going to open up a world of business development for you at a very accessible price point that you will be able to reach your financial path that you want with a very low ticket, we call it, offer. So this is exciting. Mira, should we spend a couple minutes just sharing this with them because we have a special offer for this group?
Yeah, I mean, sure. And I also just want to point out, like, there are some people here that are like, for themselves, you're probably in this place of like, I know that I need more and whatever. Like, we also want to hear, like, some of you don't feel comfortable sharing in public. You might not want other people to know how much you're making. That's totally normal. Like, please reach out to us because we really helped people specifically in the beauty industry to grow their business, to like literally do things like offer services they never would have done before and get them out of their, that hamster wheel of just like doing the same annoying in the middle of the funnel where they're not supposed to be, of washing sets all day, and really got them to do that. So yeah, I mean, Rachel, do you want me to just share? I know
Yeah, I mean, and just to add on to what you said, like we've had women come to us who are almost closing their doors despite having clients that love them. So really in a bad way. And get to a place where they're thinking like a CEO, thinking about profits and building systems to focus their energy, effort, attention, and time on that profit building system. Okay, so let's spend a couple minutes on this and then we want to get back into your questions, just because we do have a special offer for the women in the room.
Yeah, so let me just share that.
Mira, you want me to do this or should I?
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I mean, I'm super fired up about this. I'll tell you, Mira, like I said, like to me, this is like the unique opportunity that honestly, Mira and I can walk away from this and we'll be fine. But we really want to help and we couldn't think of a way to help that is going to be accessible for people who are at a point where they are not getting paid what they want and they're really overwhelmed. And so what you get when you join us on what we're calling the UnStuck Collective is how to get really unstuck for good in your business. We want you to we want to help you run your business like a CEO. And so this is what you get. Number one, strategic focus and clear direction. This is huge. This is focusing on the right thing, getting yourself into a strategy of working smart, because like Eleni said, you're already working hard. So working smart into a plan for your year. You know, as we get closer and closer to the school year opening, Rosh Hashanah, etc., we want you to have a success plan for the whole year. You will get fresh inspiration, insight, recommendations. We are providing every other week a step-by-step guidance around sales and marketing, creating consistent revenue, managing your time, building a process for your new clients that honors who you are and what you offer. Even more important to all those tactical and strategic pieces is the mindset, getting into the mindset of the CEO. We are giving weekly coaching prompts and exercises, and that will give you the tools you need to shift how you think about yourself on an identity level. Your self-concept is going to be the most important thing before your hustle, before your strategy. And finally, the peer accountability, where you don't need to talk in front of a group, but we could pair you one-on-one with someone who is incredibly suited to you to help you stay accountable and on track with the weekly implementation that we want you to be able to execute on. So accountability, mindset, strategy, tools, foundations, and a clear direction and path on where you need to go. You could stop sharing if you'd like, Vera, or should we talk about the logistics?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Okay, so this is the offer that's special for this group. We are offering for anyone there. First of all, there's no commitment. There's an offer of no commitment. You can just, mean when I say no commitment, we want you to try 90 days, but you don't have to, the goal is a year-long membership. But if you want to just try for 90 days, you actually get a month free. It's only $500 a month. Again, in a world, this is literally a fraction, a tiny fraction of what we normally would charge. So just understand. And if you sign up by Friday, by Erev Shabbos, you get the third month free. So, and the goal is not to get back what you invest with us. The goal is to get back 100x what you invest.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's for the year. It's 3 months free plus the.
And then for the yearly membership, right, you get 3 months if you join by Friday at noon. It's huge, huge value, and you get set up for your entire year. We also give you a gift that is both virtual and mailed that we are not going to share with you, because, but it's good, and it's going to be filled with the things that you need in order to get you on track. You could stop sharing now unless you want to add something.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I want to just designate the last final minutes. Any questions about the program we're offering, and also any questions about how to use these things that we're sharing in your business? Eleni, is there anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, could we extend the offer? Because number one, I feel like it's not enough time. I want to post this on the Fem chat. I want to talk to people about it. So if we could just maybe extend it a little bit. I know that I could talk to you about this privately, but I want everyone to know that I would like a little bit more time, because a lot of people didn't have a chance to experience this. I want them to. And I feel like this is going to be something so amazing for our community, because we did the Pure Brazilian tour last week, and there was one part of the Pure Brazilian tour that we were discussing finances. I don't know if you know, I'm very uncomfortable speaking in front of people. I'm actually getting very good at it. I think the first day I froze. I don't even know what was coming out of my mouth. But second day, third day, fourth day, I was already better. And I was just standing there, and I'm like, guys, who wants to make another $100,000 this year? And all of a sudden, all the girls that were scrolling on Instagram, they were like, what? And I know we all want to make a significant amount, and just like Pure Brazilian was an investment, and you are able to make $100,000 a year, and we sold out. I feel like this is almost like the same concept. You are investing in yourself, but the ripple effects are going to be so good for you. I just want to share this with a lot more people.
Yeah, Elenida's queen, and we're happy to do that. So let's just say
this. People won't watch the recording before then. I didn't realize.
Right. So let's do next Friday at Erev Shabbos. How about
Okay,
that?
thank you. So we have a week. Wonderful. Love it. Thank you.
Okay, Mira, do we want to add, I would love to answer another question, or do you want to add something?
Yeah, no, and I'm also gonna put like Rachel and I's contact in the, or Rachel, you can put your own, whatever, I'll put mine, but like just in the chat, just so like, please reach out. Like this is
Right.
what we love doing, and it also like there's not, it's so exciting for us when when we get like to help partner with someone to get their business to the next level. Because I always say like you're investing, and then once like we're at a place that you're happy, you have that forever. So it's like this gift that we can give you to get yourself operating like a CEO and turning your, your hobby into like a real business. To be able to do that is like like a real pleasure of ours. So we appreciate the that opportunity. But
Rachel and Mira, I wanna really thank you from the bottom of my heart, because we've been in touch for the past 3 months since the Fem Show, and we've been talking about doing this for the community, because you know that my mission is to do this for the community, bring everyone, expand their mind. We were even talking about it before the Fem Show, but really, and you guys are stepping up in such an amazing way. I don't know if anybody knows, but you guys deal with like major CEOs, and you're doing this for the community. I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited. Can't wait.
You are the bridge, Ilani. So we thank you so much. And what Ilani is saying is so true. This past week, we were talking to this incredibly inspiring guy who we sort of peripherally work with. He has something like, I want to say 11 companies, some crazy investment portfolio of companies, something like a lot. He's done incredibly well for himself. And the conversation actually got really dialed into exactly what Mira was talking about before around being uncomfortable. And what he saw as the universal truth between him, who's making mega millions, and the normals of entrepreneurship, is getting uncomfortable. Except that he takes it to the mat. He doesn't ever take a day off of being uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
he's like, I want to be uncomfortable every day. Like my goal.
Right. And it doesn't mean uncomfortable is not there to break you. It's not there to go against your values. It's not there to go against who you are as a human being, or your personality, or being you're the way God made you. Being uncomfortable just means going till muscle failure in your courage and your creativity and your willingness and your connections to other people and the way that you think about what's possible for your world. So something, I guess we're not going to get to questions, but I'll just say, like, I think that something that Mira is incredibly really excels in is incredibly concrete, practical matters. But at the end of it, you look back and you're like, I can't believe I came this far. Something that I'm a really big fan of is really dreaming very, very big about what's possible in your future. And so when we put it together with Ilanit's superpower of curating a phenomenal community, we are all three of us incredibly passionate. You working to create a business you're so proud of, and that brings you the money you need to and want to buy that house that you want, to make the wedding for your child that you want, to go on a family trip that you want, to live the life that you want, that we would love to help you get to. So we appreciate every single woman. Esther, thank you for being a more brave and having your video on and being our case study and our guinea pig. You're the best. But we just want to thank every single woman in this room for showing up, and we really want to help you.
First step. The first step is showing up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Ilanit.
Oh,
Me neither. None of us.
guys, stop! You're making me blush.
I wouldn't be doing shadels for 20 years if it wasn't for Ilanit.
I know
So,
her
thank
since
you.
she's in high school. She used to
Crazy.
come with her uniform with all her
She used
friends.
to cut my hair.
Ilani, you're in high school. I don't know
Short
how you
pixie
knew her.
cut.
Right.
I loved it. It was my favorite.
You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. Reach out to us anytime. Our phone numbers are in the chat, and we'll send you all the recordings.
Are you